Hi, in this video I'm going to be making my predictions for CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. Uh, right now we have currently 12 teams that are remaining out of the original 35 that are participating in their campaigns for Russia in 2018. And in the semifinal stage already, we have three groups of four teams, with the top two in each advancing to the final round, called the Hexagonal, or the fifth round in qualifying. Now, the fourth round has already started, with each team having played two games already, home and away. And the current standings in each group are pretty telling, I think, in regards to who will be advancing to the next round. So, in this very short video, basically, I'm going to go through who I think is going to reach the final round of qualifying and who I think has a very poor chance of making it. I will not be talking about what four teams I think will qualify for the World Cup. That will be made in another video next year, once the fourth round has already been decided. But I will just go through each group one by one quickly and pick what two teams I expect to advance from there. So Group A, we have Mexico, Honduras, Canada, and El Salvador. I think Mexico should win this group very comfortably. There's a maximum 18 points. I think Mexico should get at least 15 out of those 18 points. I actually don't think they're going to lose any games in this group. It's a pretty weak group, I think. So I think Mexico will win it in first place comfortably. What was supposed to be Mexico's toughest game, the road game away to Honduras, ended up being a comfortable 2-0 victory for them. And in regards to the Honduran team, ever since the World Cup completed in 2014, Honduras has been in a very steady, deep decline. And despite having Jorge Luis Pinto in charge, who took Costa Rica to the quarterfinals in Brazil, Honduras has not been playing at a level similar to of the team that they were in Brazil 2 summers ago. And this has been noted by their poor performance in the Gold Cup, finishing last in their group, and the fact that Honduras lost to Canada on the road. Now, before this round started, if I were to make my predictions, I would have said Mexico and Honduras were to advance, but I think the second favorite to advance now at this point would be Canada. Canada had a very promising win at home to the Catrachos, and they got up a vital point on the road against El Salvador in a 0-0 draw. Now, I think momentum is with the Canadians, and even though I expect them to lose to Mexico 2 times in March, both home and away, I think they'll get their points required on the road in Honduras and at home against El Salvador to finish second in this group. It was always going to be a race between Honduras, Canada, and El Salvador to see who would finish behind Mexico and qualify to the Hexagonal. But up until now, I had always seen Honduras as the favorite. But I'm going to say now Mexico will finish in first, Canada will finish in second, El Salvador will finish in third, and Honduras will finish in last. A big disappointment for them. And also, I want just putting it out there for the whole soccer community to know. Arnold Peralta, a Honduran midfielder, was shot and killed a couple of nights ago. So may he rest in peace, and may the Honduran Football Federation and the Honduran people come together and stand united against violent crime, which is racking the country currently. In Group B is a very difficult group. It's a very difficult group. Um, we have Panama, Costa Rica, Jamaica, and Haiti. Now, before the matches began, uh, if someone were to ask me my predictions, I would have said previously that I expect Costa Rica and Jamaica to qualify for the Hex. But Panama pleasantly surprised me and stole 3 points on the road against Jamaica in an emphatic 2-0 victory over the Reggae Boys. And I just can't see Panama dropping points at home in the return leg against Jamaica. Jamaica might be able to pull off a draw, but I think losing to Panama in the first game at home was a huge blow to their hopes of reaching the next round. Costa Rica, on the other hand, did manage to pull off 3 points against the Canaleros on the road, 2-1, and I think that pretty much solidifies their stranglehold on the group, and I expect Costa Rica to advance to the next round because the road game in Panama was supposed to be their most difficult game, but they ended up winning it. So I think Costa Rica will maybe not comfortably top the group, but they should top the group with at least 13 points. I ran a few simulations of the results, and Costa Rica has at least 12 or 13 points out of a possible 18 from all 6 games. So I think Costa Rica will finish somewhere around there. Despite the departure of Jorge Luis Pinto and a very poor performance at the Gold Cup, they have been back to their old self under new coach Oscar Ramirez, and they've had pretty impressive victories so far against Haiti and against their neighbors, the Canaleros. A maximum 6 points out of 6, and I expect them to continue their momentous run. So I think Costa Rica will finish on top of the group. And second, I still think Jamaica has a good chance of finishing in second. I think Jamaica still has a good chance of finishing second. I think the battle for second place will be close between Jamaica, Haiti, and Panama. But I'm going to say that Haiti has the least amount of chance because they're at 0 points now from their first 2 games. And losing at home to Jamaica, a game where they really should have picked up at least 1 point, was a blow for the Haitians. So I think Haiti will probably finish in last place in this group. And as far as second and third, I'm going to say, for now, I'll say Panama. For now. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if Jamaica are able to pull it off and get into the final round. So I'm going to say Costa Rica first, Panama second, Jamaica third, Haiti fourth. Now in the final group, Group C, we have the United States, Trinidad and Tobago, Guatemala, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I think it's safe to say, no disrespect to the St. Vincentians, but I think St. Vincent will finish bottom of this group. They are by a substantial margin the weakest team of any of the CONCACAF sides remaining in qualifying, and I think that they will finish probably with 1 or 2 points at the end, maybe 0. They might lose all of their games, maybe. I'd always expect the United States to do well in these rounds, partially because I'm American, but also because against teams like the Caribbean island nations and a really weak Guatemalan team, I always expect the U.S. to beat them. So I expect the United States will finish in first place, although I do anticipate a very tough game at home to Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago forced us to a draw in Port of Spain, 0-0. and they're a very good team, very talented, very fast with Kenwing Jones and Moreno. So I think Trinidad and Tobago will come in second in that group. What pretty much already decided it for me was Trinidad defeating Guatemala on the road 2-1. I think Guatemala's only real chance they had of taking second in this group was with a possibility of taking a point or the full maximum 3 points at home to Trinidad. But now that they lost at home to Trinidad and have to play a return leg in Trinidad, I just don't see them pulling off the points they need. In fact, I think the only points they'll get from this group are from the 2 wins against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I expect them to lose to the United States. I expect them to lose to Trinidad again. And that would leave them with 6 points out of a possible 18. So 1/3 of the points required. I don't think they would make it. So I'm going to stick with the Soca Warriors to advance. So my 6 teams to advance. Again, these predictions are made after the fact that the 12 sides have already started playing. So it's looking now that the 2 teams in each group that are currently on top of each group are going to stay on top of their groups. So the 6 teams I have advancing are Mexico and Canada, Costa Rica and Panama, and the USA and Trinidad and Tobago to reach the hexagonal. I will not be making any predictions on the final round, the hexagonal, of the last 6 teams, because I think it's too early, a little bit too early. I know that a lot of fans in CONCACAF expect the USA and Mexico to always qualify for the World Cup. As an American, I expect the USA to qualify, but I think it's a little bit too early in the game in 2015 to be making predictions on what 3 teams or what 4 teams will qualify. So for now, I'm just going to stick with the current round of preliminary matches. So those are my predictions on the 6 teams that will advance, and I will be making another video sometime next year once this round is completed in regards to who I think will qualify for the World Cup. And who knows, maybe the 6 teams that I'm predicting now won't be in the final round 8. Maybe we won't see Trinidad. Maybe we will see Jamaica instead of Panama. I think it's certainly possible. So let me know what you guys think.